Hello there. Thanks for joining me. I'm super psyched you're going to take a few minutes to join me today because I am really proud of this program, Restore the Hips Mobility. So I thought I would take you inside the program since I emailed about it today. I really am proud of how this came together, and I will say it took many hours to build this program and all of the programs that are here on the site. So let's start. This is Restore the Hips Program Mobility. Let's start by looking at the menu, and then I'm going to take you inside to look at what is here. And if you're following along, you can see the amount of information that is here through this menu. I'm going to go down through all of this step by step. I've got 7 bonuses in this program. So this program really encompasses everything I've learned about hip mobility. It goes far beyond just working on yoga-oriented passive stretching to improve hip flexibility. Far beyond that. We get into a deep dive with respect to assessments and also really training and targeting areas specifically that may need to be improved. I go right through it. So with every one of my programs, let's just start at the top, and I'm going to take you right through here. With every one of my programs, we've got a resources and equipment area. Next tab, hip mobility, why it matters. This is a deep dive into why mobility, the ability for your hips to move freely, is so important. I share a little bit about running, specifically using former Olympic champion Sammy Wanjuru as an example of what a great runner will show us about their ability to move. So there's a deep dive there. Next, the tab are mobility training, a primer. So here I give you some specific guidance about what it means to train hip mobility. A video here, where one of these, which I've shared in my email. That's the primary purpose of going through controlled articular rotations. Here's a video talking about our knee health as it relates to our hips. A tab here, some keys to success. Keep in mind, this is all information that is preparation for what is to come in the actual program itself. So we've really got 3 steps in this program. And again, the value to any program that I create, I guess I'll say it that way, is you have a system. You start in one place, you move to the next place, then you move to the next place. This is not a smattering of exercises. It's not a smattering of stretches. It's far more scientific than that and far more effective because this is a true system of training to take you from one place to the next. So, for example, and I've used the yoga word once, but, yoga is an assemblage of, depending on the style of yoga, an assemblance of stretching exercises. How do you know, though, which ones are the most important for you and the things that you should really be working on if you're, for example, an aging runner like me? Because, working on a whole bunch of general stuff may help you feel better, but it doesn't necessarily help you improve a specific weak link or a specific area that you need to. That's what we do in this program. And any good system will help you do that because we need real objective information. We need to know what we need to work on, and then we need to have the tools set up systematically to help us work through these issues. That's what this program is. So 3 steps. First is assessing our hips. The second step is training hip joint mobility. And the third step is an actual training plan where you can take the tools, specific exercises, the things I've provided to you in this system. You can apply them in a specific plan. So quickly, assessing your hip joints. We're going to use 3 different basic tools to assess our hip joints. We're going to look at specific hip joint range of motion, with controlled articular rotations being one of those. We're going to look at, so I'm telling you here exactly what to work through. I give you a specific worksheet, by the way, to help you monitor and keep track of what you're learning as you go through your assessments. So, all right. So next, moving into the area where we look at the controlled articular rotations. Again, you're going to go through these. I'm going to tell you exactly how to assess a specific range of motion so you can find out what it is that you're looking for. I mean, I've spent hours and hours and hours creating these detailed videos and very specific instructions. I mean, this is a major deep dive. We're going to get into run-specific passive flexibility. I'm assuming you're a runner. You do some running, so we're going to look specifically at some flexibility as it relates to running. And then we're going to look at axial rotation of the hip, which is a specific range of motion that a lot of folks will lose as time goes on. By the way, here's an image of this particular worksheet for axial rotation. You'll get one of these worksheets for all of these different assessment areas. So you'll get an opportunity to keep track of what it is you're learning as you go through the assessment. And step 2, now we're going to take what you learned in that assessment and begin to train mobility in the areas that are specific for you. And I give you these 8 different movements that we'll specifically focus on. We'll start with 3. We'll get into all of these other areas. I teach you about PALS and rails, progressive and regressive angular isometric loading, which is one of the tools we'll use. And then we go through these different areas: 90-90, deep 6, piriformis, the groin, hip flexors, long adductors, and then training axial rotation of the hip in addition to fraud. Now, I could have used a whole bunch of different movements or exercises. What I've presented to you are the 8 most common and most important, specifically for runners, triathletes, endurance athletes, but human beings, really. I've given you targeted, specific movements, things we'll focus on and train that are really important. And again, this reflects everything I've learned, quite honestly, in more than 40 years as an endurance athlete and more than 20 years now as a coach. So now we get into some training plans. We're going to take all that information. You're going to learn how to address mobility in these specific areas. And then we're going to get into the training itself. And I give you a 10-week training plan. So I'm going to take you right through the process where we'll do weeks 1 and 2, some preparation, some assessment, and then I take you right through a 10-week plan where we get into very specific guidance about what you should do from one day to the next with respect to the assessments, the preparation, and the actual training. And wait till you see what I've got in terms of some videos. You're gonna totally dig this. Now we've got a whole area for soft tissue care, because after all, soft tissue, the health of your soft tissue, how fibrotic the tissue is, how restricted you are, is very important in the process of getting healthier, feeling better, and also improving mobility. First bonus here is some video tutorials on tissue care, and I'm going to continue to add more as time goes on. So here's some passive stretch and self-myofascial release for the deep 6 and piriformis. Here's some for the lateral line, the hip, the quad, the IT band. Here's some for the TFL, and it just goes and goes and goes. Then we've got a bonus where I'm going to take you through real world examples of how to address some mobility challenges. Tara joined me for this, where we explore and train internal rotation using cars and pails and rails. So, and I'll continue to add to this as time goes on. We've got some follow along videos as well, where I take you specifically through, you follow right along with me as we train hip external rotation in 90-90, 12 minute, 7-second video. Internal rotation, 11-minute, 39-second video. Here I take you through my process of taking that axial rotation and training it in elevated pigeon, a 6-minute, 39-second video. Here we go through some dynamic activation drills, some lateral line mobility drills, just a ton of stuff. And again, the great value to this is I'm doing all the web work, I'm doing all the video work, so I'm going to continue to add to this as time goes on, and the price is just going to go up. It's not coming down. So bonus 4, here's where I share deep dives into Bretzel 1 and Bretzel 2, two fantastic movements. And I've given you long, extended instructional videos or short videos, so you get an opportunity to dig into those and revisit them on a regular basis. All of they're available to you for the rest of your life once you purchase this program. Here we get into some more advanced variations of CARs. This is bonus number 5. So we've got some, here's one video that I shared with you in the email, but we talk about a lot more advanced variations where we start to test it a little bit. And then we've got bonus 6, where again I explore more mobility, and bonus 7, where I talk about biotensegrity. So the bottom line is this program is a system based on science and practical experience. It's taken me more than 20 years to really learn what works and what doesn't in terms of improving and changing mobility. The fact that I can demonstrate some of these things is a great example of that, because I've tried everything, and what I've learned is in my work as a functional range conditioning mobility specialist has really helped me to understand what mobility really is, which is really strength at end range. So I'm giving you the tools you need to systematically progress from one step to the next. And if you're willing to do the work, you can literally change your body and make it not only more flexible, but more mobile, which is to say where you can control the flexibility. This is what really leads to durability, and it's what leads to greater strength development. So there you go. There's an overview of the program. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. But the bottom line is I'm going to keep continuing to improve the program, make it better as I get feedback. I'll improve any of the items that may need to be improved, and I'm going to continue to add content, more videos, more follow-along videos as time goes on. So it's just going to continue to get better, and the price isn't going to come down. It's going to continue to go up. This is not your average stretching program by a long way. This is a deep dive into exploring mobility objectively through assessment and training. So I hope that helps.